good afternoon, evening, or night to anyone hearing this. Welcome back to your daily Lobotomy Corporation Abnormality Guide. I'm Riley, once again, and today we'll be discussing classification code O-02-40, name being Big Bird. It has a risk level of Evolved, and its ego is Lamp. We'll do everything that we need to talk about, and then, as always, Azazel will come in from the LCA to discuss the ego gear we gave their sinners. That out of the way, let's get into it. Big Bird takes the appearance of a round black featherless bird with arms instead of wings. It has 17 visible eyes, though it's implied to have at least 47 in some of its flavor text, and a sharp beak, which contains pointed teeth and a second smaller beak inside. It holds a lantern with a wick of its melted feathers inside of it. As follows. A large, many-eyed bird that controls the dark force with an everlasting lamp. Unlike regular birds, it lacks wings and has long arms with which it can pick up things. It would stare intensely at anyone it found, young or old, and bite their head off. This is the tale of a beast that lies in the deepest, darkest places of the force, who dazzles creatures away, never to be seen again. To protect all creatures from the beast, Big Bird burned off all of its feathers to make a wick, and then made a lamp that would burn forever. With this eternally lit lamp, the Big Bird wandered the forest, warning the creatures to not stray too deep into the trees. Thanks to the large bird, fewer creatures fell victim to the beast in the forest. However, it was still concerned for the creatures still being killed by the beast. An idea struck the Big Bird's mind. If I kill the creature first, then no one would be killed by the beast. Since then, only rumors of a beast that would bite your head off flew around the dark forest. It is said that the beast carefully examines and stares at its victims to see if they are the beast that lures helpless creatures away. This is a tale from a town in the area. We heard the tale from the town, oldest inhabitants, redacted. Although there is a general assumption that the tale was told to prevent children from entering the forest, it is uncertain who first inherited the tale. Can't do anything while the abnormality has its eyes open. It would stare intently as it keeps staring. This is why we need to put it to sleep first. We can only begin working when all of its numerous dozens of eyes have entered into slumber. And it turns out this tale was not made up. We could find this large bird in the forest. Right after that, we tried to look for the beast that dazzles people. We searched through every nook and cranny of the forest, investigating every single creature in detail. A month later, we came to this conclusion. There was no such beast in the forest, except for that big bird. This abnormality is completely ignorant of the common perception of death. This abnormality that resides in this corporation can be placed into two different categories. The first category is those who understand perfectly well what the concept and meaning of death is and will attack our staff with the intent to kill. The second has those who are aware of the concept of death but attack without malicious intent. This abnormality we have contained here fits into neither of those two categories. To this bird, death in itself is salvation. If it just ripped off the head of the poor little girl who got lost in the forest to it, there was no mistake, malice, or murder. It thinks it just saved a girl from the beast. Now we're moving on to the ego set. This ego set is called the Lamp. The weapon in this set is a hammer type weapon they can own a max of one of and costs 70 to produce. It is a VOV level weapon that deals 22 to 28 black damage every 3 seconds and has a medium range. Its special effect also has a 25% chance to make targets more vulnerable to black damage. However, the requirements for this ego weapon is that Fortitude and Temperance must be 3 in order to equip. The suit is also a VOV level suit. You can own a max of one of these and it costs 60 to produce. And the stats are as follows. 0.8 times red, 0.7 times white, 0.4 times black, and 1.5 times pale. For the requirements, the agent must be level 4 and have a temperance and justice of 3 to wield. The gift takes up the helmet slot and has an acquisition probability of 3. And the effects are as follows: HP plus 3, success rate and work speed plus 3 as well. I'll be going over each. Employees died, including clerks, within the facility. The Goliath counter decreased. However, death caused by execution bullets were not recognized. Managerial guideline number 2. When the work result was bad, the Clifford counter decreased. Managerial guideline 3. When the work result was good, the Clifford counter increased. Number 4. Big Bird breaches containment unit regardless of its Clifford counter when the emergency situation in the facility reached the second trumpet. Managerial guideline 5. There was a blackout in the department where Big Bird was roaming. Employees who were in the department with a blackout may become enchanted by Big Bird. Managerial guideline 6. It seems enchanted targets receive less damage. However, a certain amount of time had passed, those targets made their way to where Big Bird was, and died from its attack. Managerial guideline 7. Enchanted employees were freed from their trance as soon as they were out of the department that suffered the blackout. Speaking of escaping, Big Bird can escape, has a max Clifford counter of 5, and its breaching resistances are as follows: 0.8 times red damage, 1.2 times white damage, 0.5 times black damage, and 1.5 times pale damage. When it breaches, it will roam the facility with 1600 health. About every 20 seconds, Big Bird will use its lamp to have a 40% chance to mark a clerk with the lowest HP, or a 60% chance to mark an agent with the lowest HP, enchanting them. This mark is a yellow circle that will appear above the respective employee, and it will turn red after Big Bird shakes its lamp. Employees with the mark will receive reduced damage. When it's yellow, it'll take 0.5 times red damage. But if the mark is red, they will be immune to red damage. After about 40 seconds or 2 lamp shakes, the employee with the mark will be possessed and lured to Big Bird's location. All clerks and enchanted employees, both yellow and red, that are in front of Big Bird will be killed instantly, as Big Bird's eyes will turn red and open its mouth wide to decapitate the employees. As this is happening, Big Bird will gain immunity to damage. If the enchanted employee gets out of the blackout department before they can get possessed, the mark will be removed. This mark can also be removed by entering We Can Change Anything, although your employee will still die, or by going into the shelter from the 27th of March. If the camera is focused on Big Bird when walking, the screen will shake and will be unable to be moved for a short moment. If all employees in its department are dead, Big Bird will continue to wander the facility as it tends to seek out and move towards enchanted employees. Now we're moving on to working with it. It can produce a maximum of 20 EK boxes and deals 2 to 6 black damage every time a negative EK box is produced. The outcome ranges go as follows. For a good work result, you need 14 or more EK boxes, positive EK boxes. For a normal work result, you need 8 to 13 positive EK boxes. And for a bad work result, you need 7 or less positive EK boxes. And the work results are as follows. For Instinct, 1, 2, and 3 have a common chance at 45%, while 4 and 5 have a common at a 50%. For Insight, all numbers have a low chance at 35. For Attachment, 1 has a common percent at 40, 2 is also common but with a 45, 3 is also common but with a 50, and 4 and 5 are common at a 55%, which will be your best results. For Repression, 1 is low at 25, 2 is low at 20, 3 is very low at 15. 4 is also very low at 10%. And for 5 is very low at a 0%. Now it's time for Azazel to come in from the LCA to talk about the ego gear we gave their sinners.
Yo, I just found a big bird earlier. Anyways, hi everybody, it's me again, Agent Azazel from the LCA, here to talk to you about some of the eagles that has been given to us by Dante from the eagles that has been shown here in L-Corp. Today, we're going to be talking about Lobotomy Eagle Limp Gregor. So, let's start off with his information. His status was a base health of 274, of a base speed of 1 to 4, and defense of 65. Fun fact, he is the only ID in the entire roster of Dante's ID list that has a base speed of 1. His stagger threshold is at 40% only, which is 110. His resistances are normal against normal against slash, ineffective against piercing, and fatal against blunt. Now let's go on to his skills. Before we start off with anything other with his skills, let's talk about his unique effects that he can land on the enemies. Let's start off with his unique effect, Dazzle. Dazzle says, for 1 sinking and burn, take plus 0.5 damage from base attack skills, max 10%. SP units change your panic type to Dazzle. Non-SP units defense level -2. Turn and lose 1 stack. This effect is not cumulative. Inflicting it will replace the current value with the inflicted value. Apply the non-SP units conditionals to certain enemies that have SP, but not change their panic types. The Dazzle panic type effects is listed with low morale, turn end, gain 1 bind and 2 offense levels down next turn, and panic, turn end, gain 1 bind and 4 offense level down next turn. His other uniques is Lamp. It has a max stack of 8 and turn end gain 1 bind next turn for every 2 stacks, max 4. At max stacks, if there are enemies on the field, consume all stacks to activate the following effect next turn. Gain plus 10 aggro to the leftmost slot and inflicts 3 dazzle to the enemy's core with the most HP. And his final unique effect is Guardian of the Forest. Before attack, activate the following effects. Plus coin skill heals 4 SP, already at max XP, gains 2 offense level up next turn. Minus coin skills, lose 8 SP. This effect cannot reduce the SP units below 40 and lose this effect. Now, let's move on to the skills themselves. His skill 1, Intense Stare, 0 range, is a Wrath skill with a base of 3 and 2 coins of plus 4 as a pierce. Has an attack weight of 1 and reads, if any of the following conditions are met, coin power plus 1 if target speeds are faster than the units by 3 or more. If this unit's speed is 1 or lower or slower, if this target has Dazzle, on use, the target has 6 plus sinking and burn, coin power plus 1, and gains 1 bind next turn, and inflicts 2 burn and 3 sinking potency. His skill 2, Destroy the Visible with the Invisible, is a base 3 4 coin skill with plus 3 as a pierce again, with an attack weight of 1. That reads, if any of the following conditions are met, clash power plus 1, the target speed is faster than the units by 3 or more, if this unit speed is 1 or slower, and if this target has Dazzle, On use, if the target has +6 sinking and burn coin power +1, and on hit, inflicts 3 sinking counts and deals 30% of the coin's final damage as blunt damage. His second coin inflicts 2 sinking and deals 30% of this coin's final damage as blunt damage, and inflicts 2 burn and inflicts 2 count for his last 2 coins. His skill 3, Salvation for those enchanted by the lamp, is a pride skill of a base 5 and 3 coins that are +4 as a pierce again. And it still has an attack weight of 1 and reads, if any of the following conditions are met, coin power +1 and deals 40% damage. If target speed is faster than this unit by 3 or more, if this unit has a speed or slower, if this unit has a speed of 1 or lower, and if the target has dazzle, on use is the same thing as before, +6 sinking and burn potency, coin power +1, and if target has dazzle, convert all coins on this skill to unbreakable and gain clash power +3. Attack end. If the target is defeated, or if it has 3 dazzle, gain coin boost for pluses next turn once per turn. Unhit inflicts 1 burn count and 3 sinking counts, and then inflicts 3 potency and 3 sinking potency for as well as burn. And if the target core has 25% or less HP, or if the target has dazzle, deals +60% more damage. And on hit, if this target has dazzle, deal gloom damage equal to 80% of the coin's final damage. His defense skill, the Wicked Burned Feathers, is a base of 3 with a plus of 10 as an unbreaking, and as a collapsible guard. Combat start. Gain lamp up to 8 stacks for every stack gained. Takes SP equal to 1%. Takes HP damage equal to 1% of max HP. This effect does not reduce this unit's HP below 1. And turn end, apply 1 haste to next turn. 2. Bind on self divided by 2 other allies with the slow speed once per turn, rounded down. His combat passive, Dazzling Lamp, says turn end, gain 1 lamp. External effects cannot change this unit's min-max speed. When chaining skills, this unit can direct the attack skills targeted to itself, regardless of speed. Focus the counter only. When gaining haste +1, gain 1 clash power up instead once per turn. Once the effect above activates, cannot gain haste for the rest of the turn. His other passive, Eagle Gear Proficiency Manual. Turn start, gain 1 defense level up for every ally wearing Eagle Gears. Max 3. When an ally dies, gain 2 pierce damage up next turn. Eyes bright like lamps. It requires 2 gloom resonance and says combat start. 1 lamp for every gloom resonance, max 3. In combat start, if an enemy has dazzle, heal 5 SP. Turn end, apply a Guardian of the Forest next turn to the allies with the earliest deployment order. Among those that do not fit the following conditions, is this unit is an ally that has a Guardian of the Forest, and is an ally that cannot heal SP due to such conditions as panic or corrosion. Its final passive, which is his support passive, says, were there more lives to save? Requires a Wrath Resin of 3, and states, turn end, apply the following to all allies with the earliest deployment order. Among those that have negative effects, gain +4 aggro to the leftmost slot next turn, gain 1 blunt damage up next turn. That is all the information that has been given to me by Dante in the LCB, so it is my time to go now. I will see all of y'all next time. Take care and stay safe researching.
And that was everything we had on Big Bird. I wish you all a well day, and I will see you guys tomorrow when we do the next abnormality.